Hello, everybody. It is Sunday, 12 o'clock Eastern. On Sunday, 12 o'clock Eastern. What am I smelling and what am I looking for? It's some transparency, something you can't find on a lot of finance channels, like Jeremy for some reason. Well, Jeremy does have low testosterone. He also does have a low effort and low transparency level with his viewers, something that we definitely
Verified.
don't have.
I've
Well,
seen the blow.
on the Cash Flow Kings, we actually believe in transparency and natural high testosterone, or not natural. But in any instance, it's a perfect time to display our buys, sells, and dividends every single week with you guys. The best place to do it. So, Fiscal, why don't you kick us away?
So it looks like you're displaying the second half first.
Wow, we love the second half. We actually started the second half.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Okay, so
I am happy.
To start the week off, we added to Clover. Now, this is a small cap company. They were recently at 66 cents. They're now at I think they're like at $1.60 now because they had a pullback with the rest of the market here. But I could realistically see them, with the enthusiasm they have and with the fact that they've shown signs of positive free cash flow and a strong balance sheet, they could be on a little bit of a run. It's a very small position for me, but one that I felt like I want to add to for the moment. Somewhat speculative, but they are a healthcare company. They do Medicare Advantage plans and such. They're an AI company too. Not many people know about that. But anyways, 100 shares of that, small trade. Now, the next one, this is probably the biggest news. Well, maybe not the biggest news, but I did open up a Disney position because they've hit not necessarily, they're not near their 52-week lows yet.
I think they actually hit it.
They're kind of in the
no,
middle.
they didn't, because they were in 82 like last fall.
So 78, actually, I checked because I'm working on a Disney video right now. But yeah, they've dipped. They're back below 100 by a pretty good amount here. And to be honest, I looked over the financials and things seem to be going in a really good direction for Disney financially right now.
$7.5 billion free cash flow this year, Fiscal.
I'll probably get to that a little later, but you could see I added to Amazon when they were still in the 180s. Oh, those were the days. We added some High Tide, more Amazon, more Disney,
more High Tide,
and I sold. That's a big one. Now, why did I do this?
All of it?
Yeah, that's all of it. So why did I do this? I think I wanted to have cash available. Now, it was probably 11 or 12% gain on my cost, plus all the dividends I collected while I owned it. So I made a healthy profit on my Altria group. However, smoking rates declining definitely hit their financials this quarter.
Trader!
Now, some money in the short run may flow back into them right now because of how worried people are, and they're going into yielders because tech is getting beaten up and stuff. So they may go back up a little bit more from here. I think they did touch 50 again by the end of the week, but I'm not really worried about that. I'm worried about what is dropping to levels right now that are major opportunities. And I want the cash available for those opportunities, which ended up coming a little later in the week. So also on the first half here, yeah, we added a little bit more Amazon and a little bit more Disney. Now let's get to the last few, because this is where things really get crazy. So I decided to take my 4X on Palantir and sold out of it. So yeah, percentage-wise, my best return. I decided to break even on Warner Bros. Discovery. Yeah, that's a break even. I might have been up or down like $1 or $2 total on the whole thing, so we'll call that break even. Now Friday, which I was struggling on Friday because a lot of stocks betrayed me price wise, but I decided this is something where you have to be able to stomach this volatility, and when something is an obvious opportunity, you got to just press the accelerator and not be fearful. So I overcame my negative emotions and I added more high tide, even though they were really beaten down.
Okay.
Added more Amazon, even though they were really beaten down. Increased my BTI stake by 50%
Okay.
because now this has to do with Altria. Okay. So they're both tobacco companies, right? Both nicotine companies. They both have basically a similar lineup of products on offer, right? Now, BTI sells globally. So they don't have the same headwinds, regulatory wise, et cetera, that Altria has. I mean, they have some exposure to it, but they have also exposure to markets where the environment is more advantageous and where there could be growth. So that's one angle to it. The other is that their price to free cash flow is, so their multiple essentially that they're trading at is so much lower than Altria that any buybacks that they do will be incredibly value adding to shareholders. And more money is flowing into these staple type stocks. And I think BTI is better positioned for a bigger benefit from that than Altria is. So I put, about 40% of what I got from selling out of Altria into more BTI. I think that's a pretty good strategic move. We will see over time if that pays off. Also, added a little bit more MPW and more Disney at the end of the
Wow.
week here. So Disney below 90, I think, is such a no-brainer long-term wise, right?
I
So
thought too.
so everybody's talking about, oh, their margins used to be X, Y, or Z, and they're usually talking about net income on that, right? They
Mm-hmm.
just got to get those margins back up. So if you look 5 years ago, which is 2019's numbers just before the pandemic, right? Their operating margin was in the 13 to 14. It was like maybe just above 13% is what their operating margin used to be, right? And then it fell off a cliff along with net income margin and free cash flow margin, right? All the margins, they
Yeah.
all got destroyed in 2020. And then it's been kind of like a little bit of a journey for them to get back. So just in the last, say, a couple quarters, their operating margins have gotten back up to where they were in 2019. Now, free cash flow margins and net income margins may lag behind that for a lot of different reasons to do with the way they expense things or for capex and such that they've been spending to try to fulfill different plans that they have. And of course, you've got Disney Plus, things going, from what
Yeah.
I hear, in the right direction on that. You're pretty up to date with Disney Plus, I assume.
I'll tell you know what, I'll share some due diligence. On Thursday, I was 2 days after my meningitis shot. I wasn't feeling too good. So what does one do when they don't feel good? They watch 3 Marvel movies the entire day. I watched, Infinity War, Endgame, and Civil War. I watched like 8 hours worth of Marvel stuff, and I'm telling you, I really do see a comeback in Marvel. They brought back Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor
Yep.
Doom. They have the Secret Wars movies. Thanos is
X-Men
coming.
97 was a banger.
Yep, Thanos is coming back. I'm telling you, it's going to be real. I'm really excited for Marvel's potential, and Star Wars too. I really think that Disney's coming back. I see
Yep.
really good content coming out again.
Deadpool and
Deadpool and
Wolverine's
Wolverine
been
was
a
a
hit.
hit. Yeah, I'm going to see that this week. Their sentiment that they're woke, they're sacrificing quality, and somebody who even agreed with a lot of it, I don't see it anymore. So
Yeah.
I'm very bullish on the company again, and I'm buying
No.
up a lot.
So with all that being said, yeah, I think Disney is well positioned, and I think because the PE still looks high, that the market hasn't fully caught on yet to how well they're doing operationally.
Yeah.
And so operating margins back to 2019 levels, and I think it's only a matter of time before free cash flow and net income reflect that as well. And hey, I'm happy to be in at this price. It's a wide moat, and hey, they've been having some recent successes with a lot of their releases.
They
So,
also pay a dividend.
and
And
yeah,
buy back shares.
they pay a 1% cash dividend. I don't think there's been any buybacks or anything.
Yeah, there was. They announced
there were.
buybacks. Yeah.
They have buybacks now. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
At these
So,
prices.
yeah. So I'm happy to get in here on something that has been around for 100 years now, and I think probably will be around another 100. So there you go. That's Disney.
All right.
How about you, buddy?
Start the week off. $125 at Disney at $92.44. Then I bought one share of SHG at $97, and I also got $1.42 in interest from Schwab. Then on August 1st, I bought one share of Starbucks the day that it was down 5% at $74.25, just averaging down there, nothing wild. One share of SHG at $97.76, and $75 in Amazon the day before earnings at $183. So rough, but long term, I'm still happy with that price. I'm not complaining. All right, Friday. This was the big day yesterday. I bought 2 shares of SHG at $95.16. It was a rough day. Great day to load up, though, in SHG. I'm making it a core position, 15% of the portfolio. I like ETFs. Then, this is the other big one. I sold 40% of my Realty Income stake at an 8% loss at $58.66. I have $293 in capital for that to play with. Realty Income, its business is not going in the right direction, in my opinion. It's not going to, I don't think it's going to go out of business, but a lot of better opportunities. So
yeah,
I got a reasonable price for it, and I think the money will be better spent elsewhere.
Long run, you could always put it into Amazon in the 160s or Disney in the 80s.
Yeah, and so what I did with that money, Fiscal, is I bought 2 shares of Amazon at $164.47 and $50 worth of Disney. So I mean, I'm happy where I put that money, and that was it for me this week. So yeah, I mean, Disney and Amazon, SHG, that's my life.
Heck yeah, buddy, it's good.
It's the week. So everybody, this is the weekly recap where we go over the buys, sells, and dividends for the week. If you want to watch more weekly recaps, make sure to subscribe. Make sure to catch us every Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern on the Cash Flow Kings Live. Best place to be. Thank you for watching. Smash the like button, subscribe, do dividends, stocks, drugs, and of course, the cash flow is king.